Now then, people, good afternoon and welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. As we know, proper football has resumed. Leeds United are back at Ellen Road this Saturday, early kick-off, 12:30. So, less than 24 hours away now. Leeds take on Burnley. This, for me, is an early season marker for Leeds United and for Burnley, to be honest. Two teams that, the bookmakers and the early season predictors would have challenging, for the top two, not least because Burnley have just come down from the Premier League, have perennial promotion specialists in Scott Parker. That's what he is. Okay, he doesn't win the thing, but he gets promoted against Leeds United. Again, just missed out last season, 90-point trophy. Whee! Just missed out in the playoff final. Again, another promotion specialist in Daniel Farker. Two tribes go to war. That kind of vibe about it. So it's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be a great game for the neutral. I think both teams will go for it and we probably will see goals. But yeah, we'll get into it. Eh? Enough chitter-chatter. Before we do though, smash me a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Get your comments in. Hit the notification bell. And I'll see you on the other side of this intro. So, folks, as said, Leeds will host Burnley FC on Saturday, September the 14th, in what promises to be a bumper, exciting championship clash to get the weekend's football off. Of course, Friday night football, Hull, Sheffield United, but to get Saturday off, this is one humdinger of a game. Both teams among the favourites this season, and it is an early season marker for both sides. I think if Leeds United were to win, it would really boost confidence for those that maybe are a little bit dubious about what our, end of season expectations are. I think we're going to win the league. You know me, I'm always confident. I thought it last season. So is that any marker to say, well, Joe thinks we're going to win it? Probably not, because I always think we're going to win it. But for those that are maybe a little bit dubious, if you can put already a little gap between you and one of your, early season championship chasing competitors, then, I'm all the more for it. And of course, Leeds United, for me, anyway, have barely got out of second gear. We're currently, though, on a very positive run with back-to-back wins and 3 clean sheets on the spin as well against, for me, top 6 chasing sides in West Brom, going to the Hawthorns, where we didn't win last season. And of course, Hull City, who at this moment in time, yes, are a little bit transitional. They are, dealing with losing Rossini and a host of top players and a new manager and new players to bed in, etc. But they still will be there or thereabouts come the end. And then, of course, Sheff Wednesday now. Yes, Sheff Wednesday. Great win against Plymouth opening day. Haven't been great since. But let's not forget, they don't get beat at Hillsborough. The last team to beat them at Hillsborough was, in fact, Leeds United. We're the only team that beats them there. So, I think they'll win at the weekend. They're back at home, etc., against QPR. So I think that result is also and will be seen as a good result as the season develops. And for me, Leeds are still in the process of finding our stride. I still don't think we'll see it hit top till after maybe November time when the international breaks are out of the way, etc. Because unfortunately for Leeds, it's a double-edged sword. Yes, we have a lot of great players, but on the other side of it is that Leeds United have had like 14 players away. I think we had 8 players training. You had Tanaka, Solomon, all these new signings out as well, which hasn't been ideal because you'd have liked them to bed in. We've lost Dan James as well. Dan James is going to be out for a further 4 weeks than originally anticipated. So I think it'll be an unchanged lineup. We'll have Bamford potentially back in the squad off the bench. It's an option. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it's an option to fill in that striker role. So Leeds are almost at full tilt in terms of squad options. Now, the same can't be said for Burnley. Look, they started strong, but then have struggled in the last couple of matches. Obviously, they beat Luton on the opening day game, and they had a lot of players then. There's been a massive amount of churn, which Leeds United also had to contend with last summer. And again, I guess had to as well this summer. They're still without Jordan Bayer, Ekdal. I don't think new signing Jan Fleming as well. I don't think he'll be fit, and he's a top player. He's struggling with a calf injury, so I don't think he'll make his debut either. So, look, they'll have a few players missing, from their full quarter of squad. The one positive I will say for Burnley, they didn't have as many internationals as Leeds United, so they'll have, had more time on the training pitch. I do want to pick out Jadon Anthony because, I've said he didn't have a great time last season. For whatever reason, the manager didn't fancy him. That's why I didn't want him to come back. I know some fans did, but if the manager didn't fancy him last season, he's not going to this season, etc. He's gone to Burnley where the manager fancies him. Parker had him at Bournemouth. They got promoted. They did well. So he as well got an assist in his first game for Burnley, and he'll have a point to prove. He will. Coming back to Elland Road, having played there, not that we have anything against him, but he'll have something to prove to Farker. To say, look, you should have played me. Now, of course, he was always going to struggle to getting over Somerville, but he barely played at all, did he? Let's be honest. So he'll have a point to prove. So he's definitely someone I do want to, focus in on and see how he gets on. And it'll be a tough game for Jayden Bogle because at this level, he's a decent championship left-sided winger. So big test for Jayden Bogle. Now, look, Leeds United have kept 5 clean sheets in our last 7 matches in the Championship, and there have been under 2.5 goals in Leeds' last 3 games. Coincidentally as well, folks, we're actually undefeated in our last 5 matches against Burnley in all competitions. Obviously, we had quite a good record against them in the Premier League, if I remember rightly, under Marcelo. We always used to beat teams down at the bottom end, if you remember, and beat them quite well. And I assume some of them games might go back to the Championship as well. The last 5, would we have played them because they'd have been relegated? Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 might have been in the Championship. But, they've spent more time in the Premier League than us in the last decade, that's for sure. But I do know we did have their number when we were up there under Marcelo, but we haven't been beaten in 5. Well, Leeds United got a very well-earned 2-0 win away against Yorkshire rivals Sheffield Wednesday. We then followed it up with a 2-0 win against Hull City, promotion-chasing Hull City for me by the end of the season, just 2 weeks ago. The fact that we haven't been beaten by Burnley, I do believe that defence is getting more and more rock solid. I don't think Scott Parker's squad is as good as it was when they played Luton. I do think the game will be quite transitional. I do think there'll be chances. I don't think I see Burnley sitting in and trying to catch us on the counter. And I do think as well, the fact that Burnley had a lot of transfer churn, especially towards the end of the window, there's going to be teething issues there. Yes, they'd have had more time on the training pitch than Leeds United, but I just think we have that continuity. We've been here last season, etc. So I think you'll get a similar scoreline. I think Leeds United are going to win this game 2-0 against Burnley, and what a win it would be to kick off the weekend. And then to be honest, Leeds have got some very difficult fixtures, and I don't know if Burnley fans are excited about this game, up for this game, because as I said, I live in Sunderland, and coming back from Newcastle the other week, I seen some Burnley fans after they were beaten at the Stadium of Light, and they were bemoaning the style of playing, bemoaning Jay Rodriguez and Scott Parker and saying, you'll beat us in the next game. So I don't think they're as happy as you maybe would have envisaged after that initial game. So I do think Leeds United will win this game, and we'll have a little bit too much for Burnley. And if we do have too much for Burnley, best believe we have too much for the rest of the division. As I say, I would put Burnley alongside us in terms of best squad. Sheffield United, great 11. Don't know if the squad's quite there. We'll see, though, because I hear a lot about their young players coming through. But yeah, I think this is going to be a big game. Game of the weekend in the Championship. You've got the Yorkshire Derby Friday, and then this is followed up at lunchtime tomorrow. I've been doing a watch-along for it, so make sure you join me for it. I'm excited for it. But my score prediction, as has been for the last 2 weeks, actually, 2 games, and we've won them both 2-0. So that's going to be my scoreline. I think this Leeds United side keep shutouts and have more control in games and create chances. So I don't think we'll see games like we did last season when it was like 4-3 Ipswich and end-to-end and 4-1s and all that. I think it's going to be a lot more controlled, a lot more possession for Leeds United, and a lot more professional this season. So with that in mind, I'm going to go Leeds United 2, Burnley 0. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please smash a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace out. Leeds.